September 7th, 2011. Today is the 81st birthday of Sonny Rollins. And it was just announced that Sonny Rollins will be one of this year's Kennedy Center honorees. I'm very happy that the Kennedy Center and the folks who put on that presentation have chosen to honor one of our greatest living jazz musicians. This is the second major honor he's received this year. He was one of the winners of the National Medal of Honor in a ceremony at the White House on March 2nd. And the Kennedy Center honors have a higher profile in that the presentation is shown on television so that millions and millions of people are going to see Sonny Rollins and perhaps learn about him for the first time. I remember the first time I met Sonny Rollins. Of course, I knew his music. Been listening to it since I was a teenager. Saw him in person a number of times before we met. Most notably a gig at the Brooklyn Academy of Music, 71 or 72, right after he came back from one of his sabbaticals. And Walter Davis Jr., my friend, was on piano. Walter was a very unique individual, wonderful pianist. So in 1978, when I was writing for Downbeat magazine, I got the assignment to do a cover story and took the train up from Manhattan to upstate New York, to Kingston, where I was met at the train station by Sonny's late wife, Lucille, very smart, wonderful, dedicated woman. Drove me to the house. You'd never know that one of the most important creators of the 20th century lived in such an abode, very, very simple home. Perhaps because Sonny Rollins is not a man into material possessions. I know that he has a nice car, a Volvo, and some nice clothes, but having been to his house a number of times since then and got to know him pretty well, not a guy who spends money on things. So I got out of the car, looked around. He was standing at the top of the stairs on the second floor of his house. I looked up, he looked 20 feet tall and a bit intimidating. Of course, growing up as a listener to this music, there were many stories about Sonny Rollins. He didn't want to be interviewed, reclusive. That's true. And just kind of a mystical figure, and there he was at the top of the stairs. I learned very early on that when people are interviewed, it's best to give them a lot of space. I know a lot of interviewers will ask a question, get an answer, and then jump right back in there for a follow-up. I don't work like that, especially with someone like Sonny Rollins. I asked him the first question, and he paused for like 3 minutes. And I just sat there, and then he responded, and then he paused again. And rather than jump in, I gave him that space. And it turned out to be a pretty good interview. We had lunch. We sat in the kitchen, Lucille, Sonny, and I, talked politics. Sonny and Lucille were on opposite sides of the coin politically. And quite interesting that they would be so close yet so far apart politically. Peter Downey, who is Sonny's tour manager, if you go to the YouTube video where he talks about Sonny, he says that Sonny and Lucille would argue vehemently about politics, but then you'd see them 2 hours later in an airport arm in arm. It was a very, I think they were married for more than 50 years. In any event, after that first interview and lunch, Sonny and I went out to his shed, his practice room, with some very deep vibes, very heavy feng shui in there, and we hung out and we bonded. And that was the beginning of a friendship that has endured for 33 years. I can't say I'm very close to Sonny Rollins. I don't know if anyone really is. But I know him pretty well, and he's my elder. I'm honored to know him, to work with him. I look up to him. I seek guidance with him on a variety of topics. We share interests in old movies in radio, in politics, and spirituality, and of course jazz. And there have been many conversations over the years. When Sonny's wife Lucille passed, I think she died in 2004, Clifton Anderson, Sonny's nephew, stepped in to help him out, and they decided a website was in order. Sonny's publicist for decades, Terry Hinty, is a friend, and she recommended me, and in 2005 I started to work with Sonny on a much more intimate basis, producing his website and doing these videos, which are now number about 120. And I'm about to actually take these videos and break them off and create a Sonny Rollins channel where you can just get Sonny 24/7. Sonny's never seen what I do for the most part. When I put the website up, he came over to the hotel I was staying at, looked at it for about 10 minutes. Oh, that's nice. This is a guy who's limited interest in the internet and technology. Sees it mostly as negative. In terms of the videos, I think I've showed him 2 videos. One was Like Sonny with John Coltrane and Sonny Rollins, their story, and Sonny Rollins meets Miles Davis. He didn't say anything, but I could see that he was moved. But he doesn't like to look at himself, and he doesn't like to be the center of attention. He's not, I spoke to him the other day about the Kennedy Center honors, and he not into it. Kind of a pain in the ass. He's in the process of, doing a lot of other things. It's more of an annoyance. He's been acknowledged. He knows who he is and what he's done. And I'm sure that he appreciates the attention, the respect, but he feels uncomfortable about it. It's important that we acknowledge him in his lifetime, because he's actually one of the only 2 or 3 Kennedy Center honorees. I know Dave Brubeck, certainly deserving of it, received the award, and Benny Carter, and I think Count Basie. I'm not sure of the entire list of Kennedy Center, but usually no jazz. So the fact that there'll be a nationally televised award program with Sonny Rollins and jazz being recognized as such an important part of our culture, that's fantastic. And he told me that's why he's really doing this, because it's for jazz. It's not for Sonny Rollins. I don't think there's any financial reward connected with this. But it will perhaps bring some people to the music who don't know about it. I'm going to be contributing some of the interviews and performance footage that I've shot over the past 5 years to a 5-minute film that's going to be produced that will be shown at the awards themselves and on television. I told him about that. He said, well, that's nice. I said, well, the truth is that night, on that moment on television, more people are going to see you and hear about you than ever before. And he said, well, that's good for jazz. It's good for jazz, and it's good for us, and I'm very happy that Sonny Rollins is receiving this acknowledgement in his lifetime. Much deserved, and it's not the end of the story. Sonny Rollins may be 81, but he's far from finished. He tells me that he's just beginning to get where he wants to get musically, and he's not going to stop. He's hobbled somewhat when you see him and he goes on the stage. He walks a little funny, but he still plays that horn with the same passion and commitment that he's had all of his life. I feel very, very lucky to know and work with the man named Sonny Rollins.